Okay, in episode 3 of probably too many very short treks, we'll give you, well, more than a one-word review that I think it deserves, and also talk about this week's Lower Decks, Something Borrowed, Something Green after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd. Okay, the very short trek has to do in the TNG era where Riker and Beverly beam down to make first contact with a civilization that has just developed a warp drive and find that they have absolutely no personal hygiene, but do love to shake hands and eat rotten fish, and the kind of sauce that they use on it is also equally disgusting. And that is pretty much the joke throughout the entire thing. If you kind of like the gross jokes, it's there. If you don't, you probably wouldn't enjoy it. Otherwise, the only thing I can say positively for it is that it does seem like more of a first contact thing until just the last moment. Then we go to Lower Decks, Something Borrowed, Something Green. It turns out that Tendi's sister is getting married, and the captain is letting her go back to Orion in order to attend the wedding. And she doesn't really want to, but the captain said, considering some of the problems with the Orions recently, that it would be a good turn for the Federation to represent themselves there. So she agrees to take Tiana and Mariner with her. And the joke in all of this, of course, is that through the first 3 seasons, Tendi has told everybody, well, not all Orions are pirates, and not all are slavers, and not all are murderers. And little peeks of things, of course, show that they're just that. And we find out some backstory in which the term is actually used during the episode of Tendi. She comes from an aristocratic family. She is trained as a fighter and was the oldest daughter who was expected to take on the pirate tradition. And so there is a little bit of discord between her and her family, although as she visits her old neighborhood, everybody appears to be scared of her. There's some good jokes here, a few that are literally landing on Mariner. And Tiana, by the way, is taking notes on all of this because there's not very many people in the Federation that have ever been to any of the Orion planets. So she's taking this all down. And of course, Tendi is very nervous about this. She doesn't want her reputation to cloud her Starfleet record. And it all turns out, of course, that, as Mariner says, we never thought you were telling the truth to begin with, and considered that you probably were all of this. So it was played for laughs, and there were plenty in here. The B story had with Boimler and Rutherford rooming together, how well they get along and what happens when they don't get along. And that was a funny little thing where they go on the holodeck and are both Samuel Clemens. And it's funny as they're trading Southern aphorisms with each other. And then that is the main story. Now, before the opening credits, there was another of this mysterious craft that's been destroying enemy spaceships. This time it was an Orion ship in which they look at it and say, oh, here's a ship that we can knock over. And as they approach it, it turns and destroys them, just the way that it did the Klingon ship before that, and the other ship in the second episode. So this is something that is, of course, a arc that's going through this entire season, and probably will not see who these people are, why they're doing what they're doing, until probably the end of this season. So it's interesting who they're going to get next. They got the Orions this time, so are they going for the Tellarites next? I don't know. So that's what I have here. Please leave any comments that you have below. And while you're there, make sure that you are subscribed. If you're not, just click subscribe and then click a like, if you will. That's always helpful and helps us grow the channel. And let's see, we, of course, if you have not yet seen it, we have released today also Babylon 5, and then we'll be back with Deep Space Nine on Tuesday, original series on Wednesday with retro reviews, and then back here with another Lower Decks and hopefully a better review for you on Very Short Treks and Babylon 5. So, until we see you again, don't go far.